What happens to the other wives when their families moves to a country that only allows one? The law in the host country only recognizes one marriage, likely the first. The spouse can't sponsor more than one spouse for a visa at a time either. A man I supervised took a couple months off to go visit his home country. I asked what he would be doing, and he said he was going to visit his other wife and their kids. He was able to come to the US with one wife. Apparently not the other. I once worked with a man from Ghana who had 3 wives. He brought the youngest with him and left the other 2 in Ghana. I think he sent money back to them. He also bought used clothes in bulk and shipped them to his wives for them to sell to earn money. I don't think they'd move to a country like that. I don't know of a lot of countries that would let you move with the other wives. I'm not sure how it works from a visa perspective, but in the US, Mormons get around bigamy laws by having spiritual marriages. It's basically the religious ceremony without the associated paperwork. They move to Utah. Fire sale? Usually only the first is recognized for legal or administrative purposes, but for some things there may be an element of discretion involved, e.g. I work as a pensions lawyer in the UK, and quite a few pension schemes have a discretion to split a spouse pension between multiple wives if this is the case. Or for example, if the first wife was no longer living with the deceased and the second to all intents and purposes was the main wife, they may elect to pay the spouse pension to her instead. However, this would all be based on discretion for that particular pension scheme. For immigration purposes, the US only recognizes the marriage that was legally solemnized first. In Australia, bigamy is illegal, so multiple wives are not recognized by Centrelink welfare court system. Polyamory is legal though, so you can be married to your first wife and all other wives are now girlfriends and no one cares. Until you try to marry a new wife. Then you are charged with bigamy with a prison sentence of up to 5 years. I worked with a guy briefly who had 2 wives. I got the impression it was more of a thing where he took care of the other one and the main wife was like an actual wife. Apparently a lot if the men where he was from had been killed, so there were surplus women, and women had limited avenues to provide for themselves. Only one wife lived him in Scotland, the other was back in his home country. They just lie and say they are cousin sisters, etc. Western countries do not check like they used to. The other wives are auctioned off.